Good morning. I'm just going to take a second and invite some of you guys here. Okay, so some of you guys are new on here. Some of you are not. But I wanted to go live on here because I feel like this is something that I ran into when I first got started. And it kind of held me in the place that I was in for 4 months. So I wanted to go over it. Just because, like, if I would have known what I know now back then, it probably would have saved a lot for me. A lot of hate and discontent. It would have saved a lot of feeling like I wasn't good enough, and it would have changed my life a lot faster than it did. So I want to share this for you just because I feel like it could help someone. If you're hopping on, make sure you stay on. That way you can get this info in real quick. It's not going to be a super long video, just super short. I just hopped off another video, so I got to put in an hour of work before my kids wake up. See, that's why I love this business. Literally, like, working outside before my kids wake up. Crazy, right? You can't do this any other job. You literally cannot. You can't do this at a job, at a 9 to 5. You can't. It wouldn't happen. And you can't make this kind of money. You know what I mean? Working at a 9 to 5. You can't do it. I'm drinking my coffee this morning. I haven't finished it yet. Hi, Addie. Hey, babe. Hey, Krista. How are you, girl? I'm not going to wait long just because I know a lot of people might be still sleeping, especially if you're on Central Time or Mountain Time right now. We are a team from all over the country, so I'm not going to wait super long, but I wanted to hop on here because when I went onto Facebook and I did a live about my story and like what it was like when I first got started and what my life was like about 3 years ago versus what it's like right now. And I feel like I spent, when I first started this business, it was 4 months that I just sat there and I did nothing, okay? Like, I did nothing. If you were scared to get started in this business, please drop a 1 below. Tell me, why were you afraid? What were your fears when you first got started? Because I could tell you right now, I was afraid of failure. I was afraid of wasting my money. I was afraid of people saying no. I was afraid of rejection over and over and over again because I had been rejected my entire life, and I knew how tough that was, and I knew how badly it hurt to be rejected by the ones that you love the most, right? And here's the thing, when I started really thinking about it, and I started really thinking about how broken I was already 4 months into the business, I started really realizing that, like, I had been through worse, you know? I had been through way worse than getting some no's, you know? People saying no to me. I had been rejected way worse. Matt was leaving me. And I was being rejected by him. You know, the one person that I was absolutely head over heels in love with, my best friend since we were 2 years old, was leaving me, wanted nothing to do with me. And I was too afraid to talk to people because I was afraid of getting a no. You know what I mean? These strangers I had never met before, I was afraid of hearing no from them. You know what I mean? So it was crazy. I sat there for 4 months and I did nothing. And it was all about being afraid of hearing no. And I'm going to go through these stages of my business with you because I feel like it's really, really important to be transparent, especially because we have so many different people on our team. And like, I guarantee you at least a handful of you at least are going through this right now. And so I was nervous. I was nervous of hearing no. I was nervous of the rejection. I was nervous about putting all my time and my effort and my work into it and it not working, okay? And so I want to go over the no because what I realized about 6 months into my business, after I had kind of dabbled within the first 4 months, I sent a message, and then I didn't follow up with them, and then I sent a message, and I didn't follow up with them, and then I sent a message, and then I would not send a message, and not send a message, and not send a message, and I would be too chicken shit, you know what I mean? So about 6 months in, I really realized that, and I realized this because I watched a Zoom that someone had, And I was all about showing up to Zooms. If you show up to Zooms and you show up on trainings and watch trainings on this page, those who show up for their business are going to go up in their business. And that is a cold, hard fact, okay? And I'm living proof of that. I've shown up every single day for the last almost 3 years. I have not missed one day. That is why I am where I am today. Because I've not missed one day. I have done the 6 things every single day. I might have half-assed it, and I might have, some days, I might have only done 1 messaging spree instead of 3 messaging sprees or 4 messaging sprees, but I still did it. I still did it. I might not have posted 3 times, but I posted once at least. I might not have updated my story throughout the day, but I updated my story at least once a day, right? I might not have, added 6 times throughout the day, but I at least sent out at least 30 friend requests a day, I showed up in my business. I did, and I have for the last 3 years. So those who show up, go up. That's like one of the biggest things that I want you to take away from this. One of the biggest things, okay? The second thing is that when you send a message and people say no, a lot of us instantly go inside of our head and we think, oh my gosh, they said no, they don't want this. I don't know what the hell that is, but it's like paint. They said no, they don't want this. They'll never want this, okay? I'm never going to make it because nobody wants this, right? Drop a 2 below if you felt that way before, because that was me within my first 3 months. And even if you thought that way just for a second, just for a second, you get your first no and you're you're like a hermit crab that just goes inside of its shell, shelters itself so that it doesn't have to get hurt again, That was me. My first 4 months, I was nervous of the rejection. I didn't want to get told no so many times. But something that I noticed shortly afterwards was that no does not mean no forever. No means not right now. And the reason why I say this is because I really thought back to when I first started talking to the girl who enrolled me, okay? I'm no longer in contact with her, but I am grateful that she had stuck it out long enough for me to say yes. Because if she didn't, I wouldn't be where I am right now. Matt and I would be completely split up. I probably would have either been in jail or in a ditch somewhere dead from drinking and driving, okay? That was my life before I got started. And, so when it comes down to no, this girl had asked me the first time, and I told her I didn't have time, okay? This was almost 3 years ago. No, 4 years ago when she first asked me, okay? I told her I didn't have enough time. So then I didn't hear from her, but I watched her Facebook. And I watched her Facebook and I got really curious. And then she messaged me again. And I asked her, I was like, well, how do you get started? And she said, it's $99. And I said, okay, I can't afford that. Sorry. Stop talking to her. The next time she messaged me, I ignored her. The next time she messaged me, I ignored her. The next time she messaged me, I ignored her. And I ignored her for about 10 times before I actually responded back to her. And when I responded back to her, I asked her again, do you have any discounts or anything like that to get started? And she said no. And I said, well, I can't afford $99. I'm sorry. And it's not that I wanted to say no. It's that I didn't know oh shit. I didn't see the value in this opportunity. I did not see that this was $1 million opportunity. I did not see that we would be able to live this life because I was living such a crappy life back then. My brain was not open to it at that point. I was not open that there was more in my life, right? Drop a 3 below if you did this to your enroller, okay? Drop a 3 below if you were that person who sat there and said no, or you procrastinated, or you put it off, or you told yourself that you didn't have enough time, you didn't have enough money, you didn't have you weren't pretty enough, you weren't good enough, you couldn't speak enough, you couldn't go live, you couldn't do all these things, right? You told yourself all of these things because this is so common. So common. And so if you did that to your enroller and all your sideline sisters that are on this team page, including your upline, did that to their enroller, what do you think these people are going to do to you? All your downline is going to do it to you. They're going to say no. 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 They're going to ignore you. 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 And then one day when their life gets bad enough, or when they feel like they can really trust you to pull you through, to pull them through this, that's when they're going to hop in. And I see Krista Bruce on here. Krista Bruce was, we've been talking for a while now about this business. And she's told me, I can't even tell you, within the last, week, she has been so grateful for me continuing to talk to her. And she's even said to me herself that she feels like, in a roundabout way, that, I've inspired her to be better. I've inspired her to be a better version of her. Same with Addie. Addie would say the same exact thing probably. 3, but I didn't take me long to hop on with you. Yeah. Addie was one of those ones where she was like a firecracker. She was like instantly, yep. She watched one of my lives and she was like, yep, I'm going. Here I go. But then if you talk to Jessica waited an entire year. She watched me on live for an entire year with her daughter. A whole year of just watching me work this business. And then finally she trusted me enough to know, through watching my story and knowing that my life was not the greatest when I first got started, she knew that it was time for her to hop in. Same with Christina. Same way. Probably half of you guys on here were the same way. And so you got to understand that your distributors are already on your Facebook page. Your downline is already in your circle. They're already there. They're already there. Maybe some of them you haven't added yet, but most of your starting out distributors are already on your Facebook. They are just waiting for the time for it to all click and make sense. They're waiting for you to keep following up and keep following up and keep following up. They're waiting to see if you're ready to commit to them. They're waiting to see if you are willing to commit to your business the way that they want to commit to this business. They're waiting to see if you are, going to help them get back up when they fall. They're waiting. They're just watching you. Your distributors are already there. They've already said no to you. They've already said no to you, and they've already ignored you, and they've already, maybe you haven't messaged them yet. And that's why it's super important for you to be adding, messaging, posting on Facebook, because they're watching everything you're doing. And it's so crazy because they're just waiting. They're watching, Our next entire team for 2021, they're already on our Facebooks. Our whole team for 2021, because everybody rotates, right? There's a turnover rate, just like there is in a 9-to-5 job, because some people don't see their worth yet. Some people aren't ever going to see their worth. Some people are always going to stay in that box because of who they surround themselves with. So there is that turnover rate, right? But think about this. The people that you talk to that say no, or say that they can't afford it, or say that they're not good enough, or say that whatever, they're going to join you. It's just a matter of when. They're just in your spot that you were in before you got started. That's it. And so really, really think about this. Everybody that you're talking to right now is going to be your team for 2021. And the only way they're going to be on your team, and they're going to be a member of your team, and they're going to help build your business, is if you continue to message and follow up. You have to continue to get in their inbox. The only time that I stop following up about about becoming a distributor is if someone gives me a solid no, leave me alone. Okay? Then I just block them. That's it. But other than that, I keep messaging and I keep following up and I keep following up, and it might not be the same thing every single time. You know, potential distributors, I might follow up and ask them if they want to try our cleanse one day, or ask them if they want to post for me one day, or ask them if they, you know, want to try our hair, skin, nails or whatever. But I'm still getting in their inbox, because no only means no right now. It does not mean no forever, and they will get started with you. It's just a matter of when, okay? So I want to come on here and put a little bit of that faith in you guys this morning, because I remember when I first got started, and I remember what my enroller had to do to get me started. And I remember her following up and following up and following up, and me ignoring her and me ignoring her and me ignoring her, and me saying no 50 freaking times before I actually started with her. So they're doing the same thing with you. And if you want a really solid 2021 team, and you want your business to skyrocket after conference this next year, holy smokes, girl, you better get to work. And you better get started messaging and keep your follow-ups going. Stay consistent, because you don't want your 2021 team signing up with someone else and getting started with a different team, because this is a team where it's at, right? This is where it's at. We have every resource possible, and you just have to use it. So I want to hop on here, and I love you guys, and I'm so grateful for you every single day. And I'm grateful for every single one of you for saying yes to a new opportunity, and I'm so proud. And I'll talk to you guys later.